Okay, we've been doing some work with percentages, and now we're going to look at a real common topic within percentages, and that's called percent increase and decrease. You've seen statements like this probably a lot lately, where somebody will say the number of cases of something, a disease, has increased by 30%. What does that mean? Well, we know it's an increase, but it gets kind of confusing because you're going, well, what does this 30% mean? 30% means usually smaller than 100%. So what's going on there? Well, let me look at another one here. From 2011 to 2016, the Apple company's profits increased by about 100%. By the way, in 2011, it was 108 million. So what does that not mean? Well, see, here's the thing. If it increased by 100%, some people say, well, 100% is like the whole thing. So it doesn't mean it's 100% of what it was before. That wouldn't make any sense for it to not go up at all from 2011 to 2016. It increased by 100%. Okay, here's what that means. The amount of increase right here, the amount of increase was 100% of what it was before. So it basically gained another 108 million. Okay, so when you talk about an increase of something or a decrease of something, that means the change is whatever percent this was of the starting amount. So let's look back at that previous one we looked at. When I say that the number of cases increased by 30%, here's what I really mean. Let's suppose that there were 200 cases before, okay, and then it increased by 30%. What that means is that it went up, and the amount it went up was 30% of the original. So first let's figure out what 30% of 200 is. 30% of 200, oops, back up, 30% of 200, okay, and you've got a couple different ways of calculating that, but either way you do it, it's going to be, or any way you do it, it's going to be 60, okay. So here's what that means. It increased by 60. Okay, so it increased by 60. So let's look over here at this one. If the increase was 100% of 108, then, well, 100% of 108, that's easy to do. It's another 108. So it actually went up to 216 million dollars. Okay, fair amount of money. Okay, it's even more now. So what does this mean if I say the gas prices have decreased by 25% since February? Well, let's do this. Let's just say that the gas price was $3, okay, before. Okay, that was in February. Okay, well, now it's gone down, right? Okay, so the new price ought to be lower. Okay, how much did it go down? Well, it went down by 25% of what it started from. Okay, so 25% of $3. Let me write that. 25% of $3 equals 75 cents. Okay, so be careful. The new price isn't 75 cents. It decreased by 75 cents. So now it's $2.25. Okay, so I'm going to look at a couple different problems, and I took these problems from Delta Math. Okay, so let's look at some of these. You're at a restaurant, and the check comes to a total of $75. Okay, you want to leave an 18% tip. How much money should you pay to the nearest cent? Well, see, here's the thing. A tip is an increase, right? Okay, so if you're leaving a tip, you're increasing the amount of money that you're going to leave. Okay, so don't just pay 18% of $75 and then walk out. You'll get arrested for that. It's basically stealing. What you're going to do is say, look, the increase, the amount of money that we're going to pay is the increase is 18% of what the original was. So think of it this way. Here's your original $75. Okay. Whoops. Wow, I'm having a little trouble here. Problem is I'm left-handed. My left hand keeps hitting things. Okay. So the amount of money that we're going to spend is actually higher than $75. We're increasing it. And what's happening is this. That increase is 18% of what it was before. So we've got to figure out 18% of $75. You can grab a calculator for that if you want. I'm not going to judge. Okay. That's $13.50. Okay. Again, you're not going to write a check for $13.50 for a $75 dinner. You get in trouble for that. What it means is you're going to increase the bill by $13.50. So you're actually going to give them $75 plus $13.50. So your total answer would be $88.50. And be careful. Read the directions. It says, how much should you pay to the nearest cent? So we're $18.50. That's exact. Okay. So let's look at another one here. You bought a stock for a price of $96. That was the original price. Okay. And since then, it's risen by 16.6%. Okay. So here was the amount that it was worth before, 96. Okay. And it's gone up. It's risen 16.6%. Okay. And 16.6% of what it was before. So we've got to figure out 16.6% of 96. Okay. That's going to be how much it increased by. So let's get this as a decimal. 0.166 times 96. I get $15. Well, it's actually, the calculator says 15.936. Okay, so this is 16.6% of $96. Well, we're supposed to round to the nearest cent, but that's only 2 decimal places. So you got to look here and say, okay, here's the cents column, the hundredths column. Since that is bigger than 5, then we're going to make this a 4 and drop that. So it's actually going to be $15.94. Okay, but that is not the new price of the stock. Okay, remember it rose by this amount. So we're actually going to take $96 and add $15.94 to it. Okay, and that gets us $111.94. Okay. So let's look at another one here. Okay, you bought a stock for $114. Okay, here's your $114 stock. Did it increase or decrease? Okay, it's important to ask that question. Well, it increased by 14% of what it was originally. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out 14% of 114 and then add that on to this. So here's 14% of 114. That is $15.96. Exactly. Okay, that's to the nearest hundredth. Okay, and again, that's not how much it's worth now. Oops. Back up. Okay, that's not how much it's worth now. It's how much it increased by. So we've got to take $114, which is what it was originally, add $15.96 to it, and that is going to be what it's worth now to the nearest cent. Okay? So when you look at these, one of the first things you've got to figure out is this. Let's see, the original amount was $48.50. Okay, but it's on sale. Okay, on sale. Does that mean the price went up or went down? Well, if it's a sale, I hope the price went down. Okay, so now the new price is down here. It's gone down by a certain amount. In fact, it's gone down by 30%. Okay, so what we're going to have to figure out, this is 30% of the original. First, we've got to figure out what 30% of 48.50 is, okay, that's going to be how much they're going to take off the price. So let's figure out 30% of that. That's 0.30 times 48.50. Okay, 14.55. Okay, now that's not the new price. Be careful, that's not the new price. That's how much it went down by. Okay, so now we got to take 48.50 and subtract 14.55. Okay, and I could probably do that in my head, but just to make sure I do it right, I'm going to go to my calculator. 33, when I'm in a hurry, there's a good chance I'm going to make a mistake. 33.95. Okay, so it was on sale for 48.50. I'm sorry, the original price was 48.50, but now it's on sale for 14.55 off of that, so $33.95. Okay, so I want you to try some of these things and on Delta Math and see how it goes. If you have trouble, that's okay. That's part of the learning process. You're welcome to contact me and get some help.